ugly. I felt so ugly. Like I always thought I was ugly. I thought I was ugly. I thought I had no value. I thought I was just not good for anything. And so when boys started to talk to me and they would like give me attention, it was like, what can I do to get some more of this? I lost my emotions, girl. Way long before, like I stopped having feelings and feeling things when I was like probably elementary.
What led to that though?
Just a very like, first of all, I don't come from an emotional family.
Okay.
My family is very like emotional, guarded. It's like we come together and we like talk, but it's almost sometimes feels like hanging out with people you just met. It's not all, it's like I was never introduced to vulnerability or intimacy from either of my parents. I love them, but they were both traumatized.
Yeah.
And so my mom definitely didn't have the capacity to be there for me emotionally. And my dad, girl, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And just getting to know them now, it's just, there was no, you didn't do that with kids, you know, like you didn't play with kids, you didn't talk to kids, you got them what they needed, you gave them space to live, a house to live in, you gave them food, you gave them shelter and clothing, and you gave them stuff to entertain themselves. But
talking to them, connecting with them, they always said kids are created to be seen, not heard. So you just go ahead.
Grew up in an environment like that, and so so I was sexually abused.
Okay.
When I had to be like 3 or 4.
Wow.
4. And so I did not understand. I don't know if I even registered in that moment. It's something that I remembered as I got older. And so going through that experience and just honestly, like never really having my emotions have a space to even develop.
Yep.
And I learned very young that, hey, when things happen to you, did you die? Keep it moving.
Wow. Emotional disconnect,
Emotional disconnect, because, hey, you got to live. We don't have time for all of that. So we got to keep it going. We got to keep it going. And so then, so I lost my virginity the summer between 8th grade and 9th grade. Okay. And so in 6th grade, I made the decision to stop seeing my dad because it was just not healthy. Yeah. It was just not healthy. I know that my dad loves me, but the way that he showed me love, it just did not connect with me. It didn't connect with me at all. He was very strict. Yeah. Like very strict, very kind of hard, kind of harsh. And then he was always in a relationship. It never felt, after he got divorced from his first wife, those young ladies did not like me. They did not like me. They didn't care for me. And it's like I didn't really see him that like every other weekend, you know, the standard when you go see your daddy time, you know, that standard every other weekend. And it was like, you know, he would spend most of the weekend with his woman, you know, and I would just be alone. And so it was just a very like isolating experience. And to do that every other weekend, it and with the traumatic things happening sprinkled in through that, we could be here all day. But anyway,
listen, no, but this is good.
Traumatic things that would happen sprinkled in. I finally made that choice like I said, in the 6th grade to like, hey, I don't want to see you anymore. Wow. And so I always had that ability to shut down. If I'm not going to do anything else, I'm going to shut down and remove myself. And so that has been to my detriment at times because I don't really have that language or capability to address, hey, what you're doing is uncomfortable and it's bothering me, and given that chance to fix it. I always kind of felt like people do what I learned this at a young age, like people do what they want to do. Yeah. And if they're not doing it, it's because they don't want to. So if they're not treating you nice or they're hurting you, they know that they're hurting you, you know, like, because how could they not? But it's like, that's a very like rigid view, you know, if you don't give that person a chance to change. And so by the time I had made it to 8th grade, I felt ugly. I felt so ugly. Like I always thought I was ugly. I thought I was ugly. I thought I had no value. I thought I was just not good for anything. And so when boys started to talk to me and they would like give me attention, it was like, what can I do to get some more of this?
Wow.
Like, what can I do to get something? Because no one's paying attention to me. I don't have a man in my life. So there's no man that even is validating me in any way. So it's like, okay, you like me, you know? Yes. And then I even realized more that guys liked me more, the more nonchalant I was, the more that I was like, whatever to guys, they liked me even more. So it became this like over sexualized, numb, I don't care persona. And so the first guy, well, the guy I lost my virginity to, I was 13, he was 18, which was
wow.
Yeah, he was 18, which was inappropriate in and of itself. But
it's so common though. That's in my family.
Yeah.
He should have went to jail type situation. Absolutely. But continue, girl.
We met on like MySpace, girl. Met on MySpace.
Shout out to our age.
Like, right? He would come and like meet me at the movies. And like, I was a player from the Himalayas.
Okay. That is a mess.
And I will say this, I really saw from a young age, the women are crying over the men. The men ain't thinking about the women. So in me just really needing to protect myself emotionally from being hurt, I adopted a male's perspective. So it was just like, okay, you came to see me at the movies and like we would hang then. And so I would read the books. Me and my friend read that book Fly Girl by Omar Tyree, and it just made sex just seem so glamorous. And so that paired with my low self-worth, I didn't understand what I was keeping virginity for. I don't think it's like I wanted to have sex just to have sex. Like I just wanted to get it over with, because at the time I'm making these decisions like, oh, stop talking to my dad and all these choices, I'm not even registering what they're doing to me. I'm not registering that there's an emotional component. It's just, hey, I was hurt. Now I'm not anymore. I'm thinking I'm good because it's like, I don't have to go over there no more. You know, like I get to be at home. Like I just didn't understand that I was hurting. I didn't understand that I had taken a lot of blows and it was really like bringing me down. And so that day I had just recently read Fly Girl. By this time I watched too much porn. And so I'm desensitized and I'm like, I like him. He likes me. This will probably be a good person, you know, to lose my virginity to, for no other reason than it's just, I felt comfortable with him. And it was just like, I know he's not going, I knew he didn't like want a relationship because I didn't want a relationship or anything. I literally just wanted the experience. Wow. I just wanted to experience sex. And so my mom was at work. And so I literally was like, hey, you know, come over. A guy's gonna come.
Of course. Free booty, an immature guy.
Literally, yes. The day he left his graduation practice, girl.
Okay. Okay.
I tell you, that stuff was so traumatic.
Wow.
He was nice. He wasn't a bad person. Like he didn't, the pain.
Wow. We don't even talk about that.
The pain. There was no foreplay. You know, there was no getting, you know, as you know, as a woman, your body needs to be warmed up and
it needs to be moist. Yes. Let's just keep it there. Yes.
In order to facilitate penetration.
Yes.
My body did not do. He didn't know. He's an 18-year-old boy. He don't know. I don't know. That stuff hurt. And I was so disconnected that I thought, just endure it. Just endure it. Just, it's gonna be over soon. Just endure it. So, and he's having sex. So he's not even, he's getting his, like he's not even, and that's what I mean with that ultimate disconnect. Ooh. You didn't even, of course you don't check to see, hey, how is this for you? But he thought I wasn't, he didn't know I was a virgin because the type of guys that I was trying to make like me, they didn't want no virgin, you know? So I always made it seem like I was more experienced than I was. And so he thinking, hey, this what she do, you know? So this what we do. So he's not even connected. But when that pain, the pain lasted the entire time. The pain lasted the entire time.
Girl.
And he finished. I don't know if it came to its natural completion. I've kind of blocked a lot of it out. But or I don't know if I was like, hey, I don't know, my mama might be here. You know, like I don't know if I said something or what. And so he left, girl, and sat up there and was trying to call me back and like, hey, can I come back? Like, is it okay if I come back? And I was like, I was so traumatized. It was so traumatic.
Girl.
For 2 years.
Say that one more time. You did what?
Sex again for 2 years. I was that traumatized. I didn't want nothing to do with sex. Like it was awful. It was awful. And that is not what the book said. That is not what they ever had on TV. That is not what happened in Love and Basketball. Okay?
Facts. And that's the thing.
And all these first time stories are so tender and so loving, and it's just you know, like,
yes,
almost like the initial penetration must feel like a pinch, and then it's just like, oh, it's great now. No, that stuff, and then they don't, and not to be vulgar, but
be honest,
well endowed.
Yes,
and so to be a young girl with a well-endowed person,
traumatizing,
socialized to think it's appropriate that he got to be hanging and it's got to be big and all of these things, and that's traumatic. It was just a very traumatic experience, and I talked to like my best friend at the time about it, but she's another 13-year-old girl, you know, so she doesn't. We both just like, oh yeah, girl, that hurt. You know, like I had already began to minimalize and like just kind of go away from what happened. It was just like, oh yeah, girl, that hurt. And so what you doing? There was no one that I spoke to about it, because at this point, your parents are only going to hear, you had who in the house?
Right.
You did what? There's not going to be any. And then it's almost like, okay, well, you're punished now.
They will whoop you and not even realize that there's something underlying there to make you even want to do such a thing, to make you lie to your mama, to sneak somebody over to your house, an 18-year-old at that moment anyway, and to go through something so traumatizing. You would think something's really wrong, but people think they see the surface. They see, oh, you had sex, you fast. I'm gonna whoop your booty. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Let's just call it a thing.
That, honey, y'all was having teen intercourse too.
Yeah. And so you realize, and that's the thing, people are still disconnected from even the reason why they did it. So the fact that we're even having this conversation and connecting the two, some people are being set free right now. It's like, wow, I was traumatized too, and I didn't even know it. Wow, some people are probably thinking, wow, I was raped and I didn't even know it, because technically that's statutory rape.
Yeah.
By law,
Absolutely.
You couldn't give consent as an underage girl.
Absolutely.
And so you were raped. And I see, here's the thing, the body don't lie.
The body does not lie.
The body doesn't lie. And what I mean by that is one thing that my brother, I like to record with my brother-in-law because he gives the male perspective about sex and I give the woman. We both give the guy perspective. But what he said was, you don't have to be conscious, if I say that right, to receive an act in its intended form.
Yeah, when he said that, and when I saw that video y'all did, and when he said that, my mind was literally like,
yes,
because you think because you minimize and downplay it, that if I don't feel bad, I must not be hurt. It must not have affected me. It's just hey, everybody can have great experiences. Like you just brush it off, and it's like, no, that definitely did a number on me. Like that definitely, absolutely did a number on me. Yeah.
Your body was raped. Something was stolen from you.
Yeah.
The fact that your body didn't even respond, the fact that the hormones and the visuals, like nothing connected to where your body couldn't even receive his penis. No. Your body it did not lie to you. It was telling you, stop, this is wrong. Like you don't feel love. You don't feel connection because there wasn't any. And your body responded. There was no connection.
Yeah.
And if he was into, here's the thing, when it comes to illegal sex, if you follow me, you know what illegal sex is. It's just sex outside of God's creation. It was so disconnected to him because he couldn't see the true nature, the true pain. I'm sure your face probably was like, at one point was like, but you try to hide it. You can, if you're in tune with stuff like that, you can see when a person is in pain.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see when a person is not really expressing joy by that. But when he got his orgasm, that was it. And he wanted more because it was selfish.
Like,
listen,
not like
all illegal sex is say it again.
That was just that disconnect where
just
had two totally different experiences.
Yes.
And it's just like, that's just when all you know about sex is a romanticized version of it, because even porn is romanticized. Like even porn is carefully crafted. The images and the positions and the angles are all handcrafted to present something to you. That is not what's really going on, like that is not what really happens. And so it was just like,
listen, and I'll say this for the young woman who may have experienced that and felt that disconnect. The reason why you feel that disconnect is because illegal sex